how do your players decide which route to take? How do you foreshadow dangers? And how can you elegantly sneak in secret hints and clues about the quests of your world? You, my friend, need an in-world travel guide. I'm Janet, a world-building professional, a published author and a game writer, and today we're exploring your setting through the eyes of an expert travel agent, so you can get your players more excited about spending time there. Travel guides have been around for centuries, and fantasy versions like Volo's Guide or The Explorer's Guide to Skyrim serve exactly as historical versions did. They inform travellers about the road and any dangers they might face, help them get a good deal, and steer them away from trouble. And they hint at secret information that might be unwise or unsavoury to print. So why not make a travel guide for your own RPG campaign? Because travel guides are immensely practical. With them, players can understand the practicalities of your setting, like how long it takes to get from one place to another, and what kind of encounters they can expect along the way. This gives them agency and helps them make more informed choices in your games more quickly. And it can be as easy as including a simple table showing travel distances or travel times. You might add a few extra paragraphs about dangers they might expect to encounter on the road during the day and night. This can create really interesting character conflicts within the party. Which player characters want to take the more direct but dangerous route, and who wants to play it safe. Of course, you can still surprise your players with something unexpected, or even subvert their expectations completely. But a travel guide helps them get a general idea of in-world knowledge that their characters would really know. And if you want the journey to be part of the game fun, include details of taverns and points of interest that they'll find along the way. A good travel guide transforms your party's travel time from boring old loading screen to amazing character building opportunities. Imagine your bard and rogue are arguing about which taverns to stop at the way. The bard wants a big wealthy audience to earn back room and board. But the rogue is avoiding venues that feature their face on a wanted poster. Meanwhile, your ranger and druid need vegan options, your cleric is trying to hit up the hottest pilgrimage locations of 1225, and your warlock is pushing for a city without a nightly curfew. For reasons. As well as amazing character interaction, giving options for stops can help your players avoid meandering routes, and it can help you, the game master, clear up fuzzy timelines. All you need to set this up is a few fun tavern names and a little bit of short flavour text. When you know which ones they'll stop at, you can build those out in more detail, the agile world building way. And check out our guide to naming taverns for more ideas to get you started. In Dungeons & Dragons and other RPGs, shopping expeditions can be really boring, especially when players are counting beans and buying common items slowly. An in-world travel guide can take a lot of the strain off the game master though. If items have different costs in different regions, which is authentic and cool by the way, include a local cost as a guideline. If you want, you can roll a single check, persuade, bargain, seduce, or depending on the player and the system, and see what kind of deal they got. And if you want to include some in-city adventures in your campaign, then mention specific stores and their owners. Again, name and flavour text is plenty. This is a great way to introduce NPCs in advance, creating anticipation. And then make sure it pays off. Give these NPCs a quest hook, a secret, or a part in the plot. You could even make them romanceable. We have a whole video about handling schmexy times at the RPG table, so check that out for more advice. Travel guides are also a wonderful way to hint at secrets. You can include them as rumours and local legend to hint at quest hooks or foreshadow plots. You can also hint at secret meetup locations. For example, snowy owls can be seen here after midnight. Or include riddles hidden in the text for the initiated. This is a wonderful way to add gamification to your in-world document. You might even have something written in invisible ink, waiting to be discovered. Of course, travel guides also warn travellers against unsafe situations. This can be monsters and curses, but it can also be more political if that's the kind of game you're playing. As a real-world example, the Green Book helped people of colour travel safely in the US during the Jim Crow era. Dameron's Address Book served a similar purpose for the gay community. In your world, maybe tieflings and half-orcs find it hard to get lodgings, and I bet Goliaths are always looking for places with big enough beds. So what about creating your own real-world travel guides for those who experience discrimination in all its forms? Your guide might also flag areas to avoid. Corrupt officials who shake down tourists, manticore nesting grounds, or haunted taverns. Which, by the way, makes a great plot hook if your heroes are hunting for jobs. And of course, choose an author for your travel guide. An author's voice adds character and flavour to your book. Think Volo from Volos Guide. Even better, in-world writers act as a filter between you, the game master, and your players. It allows your guide to be occasionally a little unreliable. And unreliable narrators are awesome because you're not looked into everything you're sharing and you can still surprise your players. You can choose how embellished or misinformed your writer is, but just a warning, the basics should be correct. If it's too unreliable, your players will yeet that book into the nearest swamp. Of course, World Anvil is the perfect place to build your in-world travel guide. You can make it interactive, you can introduce pictures and images and cross-link things too if you want to. So who will the narrator of your travel guide be and what's their story? Let me know in the comments. And speaking of cool travel locations, check out our video about ghost towns. That is an awesome location for the road to go through. Then grab your hammer and go world build.